I was stunned when I was told a terrifying tale of a bodiless groom. Be alert, because this tale will shake your whole body. In the village of Amanze, there lived a young beautiful princess named Oledo. She was the only daughter of King Ebubedike, the wise and powerful ruler of Amanze Kingdom, and his equally loving wife, Queen Abwoma. The couple adored Oledo, showering her with love and providing her with every comfort she could ever need. Oledo, in return, grew into an impeccable princess, known for her kindness and generosity. She never missed an opportunity to help anyone in need, earning the admiration and respect of the entire village. But despite the joy she brought to the kingdom, a shadow hung over the palace. King Ebubedike had no son. The king, proud and mighty as he was, often found himself restless in his chambers, troubled by the knowledge that his lineage might end with him. Who would ascend the throne when he joined his ancestors? This question plagued him until he could bear it no longer. He summoned his cabinet members to announce his decision. You all know I have no son, he began solemnly, but I have a daughter. So I have decided that whoever marries my daughter shall inherit the throne. The cabinet members murmured in agreement. Princess Oledo was a jewel, and the idea of her husband becoming king was met with approval. But Oledo had a mind of her own. Those suitors from far and wide flocked to Amanze to win her hand. She rejected them all. Among them was Obuagu, a celebrated hunter. His name, meaning the lion slayer, was well earned after he single-handedly killed a lion that had terrorized the village. He was strong, handsome, and admired by all, but Oledo refused. I do not love him, she told her father, her voice steady. King Ebubedike was exasperated. Love can grow in time, my daughter. Obuagu is a good man, but Oledo was firm. Despite Obuagu's heartfelt compassions and attempts to win her affection, her answer remained the same. One fateful day, while taking her usual walk through the village, Oledo encountered a stranger. His name was Chidi. He was strikingly handsome, with an air of mystery that left her enchanted. Chidi approached her, asking for directions to a location. Their conversation flowed easily, and before long, they were laughing and exchanging stories. Oledo found herself drawn to him in a way she had never felt before. Their meetings became frequent. They strolled through the village together, visited the stream, and shared secrets. Chidi's charm was irresistible, and soon, Oledo confessed her feelings for him. I wish to marry you, Chidi. I love you so much, and I can't stop thinking about you, she declared, her eyes sparkling. Chidi hesitated. But you don't even know who I am, my princess. How can you be so sure? Love is all that matters, Chidi. I'm ready to accept you and your family as mine. Your home is my home, so don't worry, we will be fine, Oledo replied earnestly. After much persuasion, Chidi agreed. Oledo was ecstatic and informed her parents. The king and queen were overjoyed and requested to meet the man who had captured their daughter's hearts. Unbeknownst to them, Chidi was not an ordinary human. He came from a magical forest. His families were not human. They are magical creatures who can take any form. They warned him against marrying a human. We are worlds apart, Chidi. "You can't marry a human," they cautioned. But Chidi was determined. He convinced his family to accept Oledo, promising to bridge the gap between their worlds. When Chidi and his family arrived at the palace, the king and his council of elders welcomed them warmly. The king inquired about Chidi's origins, but before he could press further, Chidi used his magical powers to cloud their memories. The king, now oblivious, happily gave his blessing, and preparations for the wedding commenced. The day of the wedding arrived, and Amanze was abuzz with excitement. The palace was a flurry of activity. Colorful decorations adorned every corner, and the air was filled with laughter and music. Villagers gathered in large numbers, eager to witness the union of their beloved princess and her mysterious suitor. Oledo, radiant in her bridal attire, stood beside Chidi, who looked equally captivating. As the festivities unfolded, a drunken villager stumbled upon a chilling discovery. Bending down to steady himself, he noticed that none of Chidi's family members, including Chidi, had feet touching the ground. In his inebriated state, he began shouting, "Spirits! They are not human! Look at their feet!" However, the villagers dismissed his claims, attributing his outburst to madness and alcohol. The ceremony proceeded without incident, and Oledo and Chidi were wed in a celebration that would be remembered for years. As Chidi stood beside his bride, he gazed at her with a mixture of love and unease. Oledo, oblivious to the storm brewing around her, was radiant with happiness, her heart full of hope for the future. As the celebration died down, Oledo prepared to leave with her husband for his home. Accompanied by her maids, she followed Chidi and his family into the forest. The journey was long and arduous, the dense woods growing darker with each step. "My husband," she called, her voice soft but edged with concern. "We have been walking for so long. When will we get to your village?" "Patience, my love," Chidi replied, his smile oddly strained. "It is just a little farther." After what felt like forever, they arrived at a clearing deep within the forest. The air felt thick, and the shadows cast by the trees seemed to dance ominously. "Welcome to my beautiful home, my beautiful wife." Oledo frowned. "Your home? This is a forest. Are you joking?" Before her eyes, Chidi and his family began to transform. They returned the borrowed body parts to their rightful owners, revealing their monstrous forms. They laughed manically as Chidi's body crumbled away, leaving only his head floating mid-air, grinning at her, letting out a sinister laugh. Oledo screamed in terror. She and her mates fled into the forest, but the creatures pursued them. One by one, her mates fell victim to the monsters. Oledo ran until she could run no more, collapsing by the tree. Back in the palace, King Ebubedike sat in his royal chambers, restless. Something about Chidi's origin gnawed at his mind. He summoned his cabinet, questioning them about Chidi's village, but no one could give a clear answer. It was as though a haze had clouded their memories. The queen too grew uneasy. The king decided to call upon the chief priest. The chief priest arrived swiftly, his expression grave as he listened to the king's concerns. After performing a divination ritual, he revealed a terrifying truth. "Your Majesty," the chief priest said, his voice heavy with dread, "Princess Oledo is in danger. He was taken by a spirit disguised as a man. He bewitched the entire village to believe he was human, and now he has taken her to his realm. If we do not act fast, she may not survive." The king's heart sank. What must we do to save her? The chief priest instructed the king to send a team of brave warriors into the forest to retrieve the princess. To motivate them, the king announced that whoever rescued Oledo would marry her and inherit the throne. 6 warriors stepped forward, including Ogbuagu, who had loved Oledo in silence for years. The warriors were fortified and then set out to embark on the dangerous journey. The forest was alive with danger as the warriors ventured deeper. They encountered illusions crafted by the spirits. Dike, one of the warriors, saw his deceased mother calling to him. Overcome with emotion, he approached her, only to be seized by monstrous hands and dragged into the shadows. Another warrior, Azubike, was very thirsty. He has run out of water, so he stayed behind resting. Suddenly, he saw his best friend in the forest. He asked him what he was doing there, but he replied that he decided to join them. Azubike was so happy, and he said he was thirsty. His best friend offered him water. After drinking the water, he collapsed and died. His best friend disappeared immediately. Well, it wasn't exactly his best friend. It was actually a spirit, a monster who appeared as his best friend to take his life. Azubike fell prey to it. One by one, the warriors fell, leaving Ogbuagu as the last man standing. Undeterred, he pressed on, determined to save the princess. Meanwhile, Oledo wandered the forest, weary and frightened. She dared not eat or drink, having witnessed her mates succumb to the enchanted offerings. Days later, he found Oledo, weak and terrified, hiding beneath a massive tree. Her eyes lit up with hope when she saw him. "Ogbuagu," she cried, her voice hoarse. Without wasting time, he carried her on his back and began the long trek back to Amanze Village. When they returned to Amanze, the entire village erupted in celebration. The king wept tears of joy as he embraced his daughter, thanking Ogbuagu for his bravery. As promised, Ogbuagu was given Oledo's hand in marriage, and the kingdom celebrated their union with a grand feast. "I'm so sorry for not seeing your love sooner," she told him. "It was worth the wait, my love," Ogbuagu replied, his eyes filled with adoration. Together, they ruled Amanze with love and lived happily. Thank you for watching, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share to your loved ones. And please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified of our new story. And also, share your thoughts on the comment section. Thank you and God bless. Bye.